Good afternoon. Today we are going to be presenting to you the proposed Middleville High School one-to-one technology plan. My name is Patrick Milani. I am currently a math teacher here at Middleville High School. And what we're going to walk you through today is some of our thought process and decision making into how this plan could look to get Middleville High School to become a one-to-one school with the device selection, the implementation plan, things like the professional development, and some of the budget situation as well. So starting off with the demographics for what we're currently looking at Middleville High School, serving grades 9 through 12, enrollment of 748, um, just under 200 kids per class, 22% of the students on free and reduced price lunch, and then a little bit of the explanation of the staff there. Some of those staff numbers being taken into consideration with this process and proposal as well. What we're proposing is that Middleville High School become a one-to-one school with Chromebooks that support the Google Learning Management System and learning platform that is already in place. So we did a lot of thinking revolving around what kind of devices do we want, and a big part of that conversation had to do with what's already in place here. What have our students been using with some of the technology that is in the building? What have our teachers been working with? And what are some of the things that we are paying for currently and we'll be able to build on and continue to learn and go deeper with as a program, which where the Google conversation comes in. Looking at what we want out of this, some of the knee-jerk reactions that we hear at times, a lot of schools are just going one-to-one because it's kind of a situation that everybody's doing it type of thing, and everybody's just kind of trying to keep up with each other. But really, there's a lot of positive outcomes that are the cause for kind of this mindset that a lot of people and schools and communities do want to go down this road because a lot of the positive outcomes that come with it for the students and the learning. Obviously, increased student engagement and learning is top of that list. That is what we strive to see out of this decision and step into really the new world of 21st century learning and the skills that these students are going to need to succeed moving forward in a lot of the fields that are growing and the ways that they're learning and performing these skills through technology. Device comparison, we kind of narrowed it down to these three options. From left to right, we've got a touchscreen Chromebook. In the middle, we've got just a laptop, a PC, and then on the right, another little cheaper option for a Chromebook. So just kind of some of the quick bullet points there. You can see some of the per device cost. Excuse me. Some of the main features that some of them have. Some of them that kind of stick out. First of all, the Acer 11.6-inch touchscreen. Well, right there in the name, it's a touchscreen, and we think that is going to offer a lot of cool options for students. Physical note taking is one of them. Writing things down helps commit them to memory. We know that, and we don't want to completely eliminate the note taking aspect in classrooms. And not that it would be expected that paper be taken out of the story, but this is an option. It's an awesome way to utilize this device and still continue to work on and enhance those skills of taking notes and being engaged in the class actively. The touchscreen offers multiple other options, obviously. There's a lot of different applications and things that can be done with a touchscreen compared to not. In the middle, we've got a PC. There's a lot of things that come with working with a PC. The students would probably have a little bit more opportunity worked into their classes of working with a lot of the different applications outside of Google, very applicable things. Not to say that you can't on a Chromebook, but that's going to work a little differently. It's going to alter how that is operated and stored, and ultimately how probably some material is going to be delivered and carried out. And then the last one was is kind of your basic Chromebook. It's your basic model. It's not touchscreen. It's lower cost, and it is an option, and it's a good option. But it's kind of just that basic model without anything really jumping out about it. What we decided to go with for the one that we wanted to pick out of those three was the touchscreen Chromebook. So it is a Chromebook. It is in line with the devices that our students have been using the last few years with the Chromebook carts that we have in the building. The touchscreen will be new, but being a Google school operating through Google Suite and having those apps, both teachers and students alike are very familiar with that. And we took that part of the conversation very seriously, that this would feel like a more seamless, fluent transition rather than a big change for a device. It's really just all the students are going to get a new version of the device that they're already somewhat familiar with some new applications and features on it. Some of the technology that's going to be phasing out of the building that will help with some of the costs listed here. We're going to be able to get rid of some copiers and cut on paper and maintenance costs. Of the 4 computer labs, 2 to 3 of those can be repurposed as classrooms. We're not going to need the desktop computers sitting in all those labs. Cutting back on textbooks, those will not be getting nearly the wear and tear that they have in the past. Some curriculums are even going fully online with their material at this point. Smartboard replacements will be less of an urgent topic, as those are spendy to replace as they have been updated and new versions come pretty frequently. We are a number of versions away from the ones that we have in the building right now, and replacing those would be a heavy cost that is going to become less urgent with everybody with their own device. And then the outdated and unsupported iPads and the Chromebook carts that have had a lot of wear and tear on them can be removed as well. So in order to prepare our staff for the integration of this technology into the classroom and into the curriculum, we put together kind of a rough outline of what that professional development would look like. Starting off with, we thought it would be a good idea to have some of the teachers in the building that already are very experienced in this realm, already have a lot of experience, some with master's degrees, in some as Google experts, teachers that can lead those PD sessions that we don't have to outsource. And really, this is, we think, going to be a great team building aspect too, is you've got members of your team that are experts at this and can lead you. And so we want to identify 4 to 6 staff members in that regard and have them kind of be the help and the PD instructors for the staff throughout the process. And then just kind of slowly building up through full staff development with initial technology integration, taking the summer to work with those identified staff members as planning as to what we think needs to be focused on the most, what's most important, and where do we want to go from there. And then getting right into it the year 2023, the school year for 2023-2024, when the devices are coming, to just continue integrating new PD, go further, have multiple stops along the way of our workshop days and our in-service days to really focus on learning, providing help, and making sure that teachers are learning to become really excellent technology instructors. The schedule for the devices themselves, we first want to start pretty quick here, October 2022, with polling the district families. Get out ahead of us, get as much data as we can from the families, find out their side of it and what they're taking and data is in that survey before we make the final decision with some of the pieces of the proposal. Shortly after that, before we go ahead and start working with the devices and getting them in the building, we're going to be adding a tech support position where we'll be hiring a new staff member to join the 2 that we currently have. And the job description of this one would be to kind of handle the day-to-day maintenance and the day-to-day issues. It would kind of really be focused on these Chromebooks and the logistics of getting them out, of having them in students' hands, and servicing those students and Chromebooks as needed. Then right after that, once that position is in place, one of their first lines of duty will be to get the devices. As many headphones as we end up deciding we need, those can be purchased very cheap Most students like to bring their own, and then some mice for probably situations where they're needed for modification purposes to just bolster up the number of school issued mice that we have where needed. And then hand those out with student expectation presentation at the start of the 2023-24 school year. And through this proposal, what we have in place right now for the materials, the devices, would cost roughly that number you see there on the screen. So moving forward with trying to see, has this been successful? How are we working through the first year or two after integrating this this plan? We have a plan for an evaluation model to see how this is going and to adjust if we need to around the 2-year mark. So mid-year and year-end surveys of both students and families and teachers as well. And then we're going to be focusing on the actual data, the hard data for the classroom. Coming out of the classroom will be letter grades, work completion, test scores, and MCA scores. And none of those really completely outweighing another. And it's possible that, through some of those surveys, there might be another avenue or two of an evaluation process that we deem might be important for us to add to that list. So thank you all for listening to the overview of our initial proposal to bring Middleville High School into a 1-to-1 school. Thank you for your consideration and have a great rest of your day.